My sister stole me a Europe trip gifted from my grandparents. Now my whole family says I'm a selfish for being upset. I never thought I would write this here, but I need to get it off my chest because it's driving me crazy. I'm 28, and my whole life I've been the responsible son. You know how it is, the one who studied engineering, the one who got a stable job, the one who never causes problems. My younger sister, Sophia, 25, is the complete opposite. She dropped out of 3 degrees, still lives with my parents, and her only job has been selling clothes on Instagram, when she feels like it. But she has always been the spoiled one. Always. It all started 2 months ago. My paternal grandparents, who are like second parents to me, called me super excited. My grandfather had won a contest on the radio, a trip for 2 to Europe for 2 weeks, all expenses paid. Hotels, flights, tours. A dream come true. My boy, my grandma told me, we want you to be the one to go. You've earned it with all your hard work. I couldn't believe it. Me, who had never left the country, who had been working non-stop for 5 years to pay off my apartment and help at home. My eyes filled with tears. My grandfather hugged me and said, "Take whoever you want with you, it could be your girlfriend, a friend, anyone." I immediately thought of my girlfriend, Andrea. We've been together 3 years, and she had been my support through everything. She deserved it as much as I did. I rushed to tell my parents. My mom was in the kitchen cooking dinner, my dad watching TV. Sophia was sprawled on the couch with her phone, as always. Dad, Mom. The grandparents gave me a trip to Europe. My mom looked at me, confused. What do you mean a trip? I told them everything, super excited. My dad nodded, seemed happy. But my mom, she made a strange face. "Oh, son, that's good," she said, but her tone didn't sound convincing. Sophia lifted her eyes from her phone for the first time in hours. "Europe's great, brother." Seriously, it struck me as odd that she sounded so normal. Usually when I got something good, she would make sarcastic comments or get jealous. But not this time. I should have realized something was off. The next days were incredible. Andrea and I started planning everything. We bought travel guides, made lists of places we wanted to see. Paris, Rome, Barcelona, it was like planning our honeymoon in advance. But a week later, everything changed. I got to my parents' house for dinner, as I always do on Fridays. My mom was cooking, my dad helping set the table. All normal. Sophia wasn't there, she'd gone out with friends. While we ate, my dad cleared his throat. "Son, we need to talk about something." His tone made me nervous immediately. "What's wrong?" My mom put down her cutlery and sighed. "It's about the trip." My heart started beating faster. "What about the trip?" "Look," said my dad, "we talked with your grandparents, and we think it would be better if you didn't go." "What?" I didn't understand anything. "Why?" My mom looked uncomfortable. "It's just, well, you already have a stable job, your apartment, your life in order. Sophia, she's going through a difficult time." "Difficult time?" My voice started to rise. "She lives like a queen at home." "Don't raise your voice," my dad scolded. "Your sister is depressed. She hasn't found her path. A trip like this could change her perspective, give her new experiences." I couldn't believe it. "And what about me? Do my 5 years of non-stop work not count? Does all the effort I've made mean nothing?" "Don't say that," my mom said, eyes wet. "You're strong, you can travel whenever you want. She needs this more than you." "Travel whenever I want." I stood up. "Mom, I haven't had a vacation in 2 years. All my money goes to expenses and helping out here at home." My dad also stood. "It's already decided. We spoke with your grandparents and they agree. Sophia will go with her friend Camila. You already spoke with the grandparents? Without asking me? They understand, my mom said. They're grandparents, they want what's best for both of you. I stormed out of the house, slamming the door. I called Andrea crying. She was furious too, but told me the best thing was to speak directly with my grandparents. But when I called, my grandma sounded different. My boy, your parents explained the situation to us. Sophia really needs this trip. But grandma, I said, you had promised it to me. Yes, dear, but, well, in the end the important thing is that someone from the family goes, right? And your sister is going through a complicated stage. I hung up feeling betrayed. My own grandparents, who had always been my refuge, were now on my parents' side. The following weeks were terrible. Sophia started bragging about the trip on social media. Photos with new suitcases my parents had bought her, posts about new European adventure, much needed rest. It made me sick. The worst part was that the whole family saw it as normal. My uncles, my cousins, everyone said things like, "It's great that Sophia has this opportunity," or "Traveling will do her so much good." And me? I was the selfish one for being upset. Andrea tried to cheer me up, but I was crushed. I felt like my whole life of being the model son, the responsible one, the one who never causes trouble, had meant nothing. Sophia left on her trip on a Tuesday. My parents drove her to the airport like she was royalty. She posted Instagram stories on the plane, at the Madrid airport, in the hotel. Every picture was a stab. I kept on with my routine, work, home, work, home. But inside I was consumed by rage. 2 weeks later, Sophia came back. Tan, smiling, with suitcases full of gifts. My parents organized a family dinner so she could tell everyone about the trip. I didn't want to go, but Andrea convinced me. "You have to go," she said. Dinner was at my grandparents' house, as always on Sundays. Everyone was there, my parents, uncles, cousins, grandparents. And Sophia, of course, the star of the night. She recounted everything in detail. Paris, Rome, Barcelona. The museums, the food, the people she met. Everyone listened, mesmerized. I was sitting in a corner, trying not to explode. But then something happened that changed everything. My Aunt Carmen, my dad's sister, arrived late. She's super scatterbrained and always runs late everywhere. "Oh, sorry, she said, bursting in. "I'm so late. Did you start already? Did Sophia tell you about the trip?" "Yes, Aunt," Sophia said, smiling. "I was just talking about Rome." My aunt sat down next to my grandma and whispered something in her ear. But not as quietly as she thought. "Hey, Mom, did you ever tell them the truth? Or do they still think it was your decision?" My grandma shushed her quickly, but I had heard. What truth? What did she mean by, your decision? The rest of dinner passed in slow motion for me. I couldn't focus on anything but that phrase. When we finished, I approached Aunt Carmen. "Aunt, can I talk to you for a moment?" We stepped out to the garden. She looked nervous. "What truth did you mean?" I asked directly. She went pale. "Oh, son, I shouldn't have said anything. Aunt, please. I need to know." She sighed deeply. "Your sister went to talk to your grandparents." "What do you mean went to talk to them?" "She found out about the trip and went to their house. She cried, told them she never had opportunities like you, that she felt like the black sheep of the family." My stomach churned. "And?" "She told them if they didn't give her the trip, she'd leave home. That she felt so invisible it would be better to disappear." I couldn't believe it. "And my grandparents fell for that?" "Your grandma got really scared. You know how she is, terrified of the family splitting up. But your grandpa worried too. They had promised me." My aunt nodded sadly. I know, son. But Sophia convinced them. She told them you were strong, that you had everything figured out, that you didn't need the trip like she did. And my parents? Your parents didn't know at first. Sophia went to the grandparents first, and when they agreed, then your parents came up with that story about it being better for her. It was like the ground was pulled out from under me. Aunt, why didn't anyone tell me the truth? Because everyone thought it would be easier this way. That you would understand. That I would understand. Always the same. I went back inside, trembling. Everyone was still at the table, laughing at Sophia's stories. I looked at her and for the first time I really saw her. She wasn't the helpless little sister everyone thought. She was a manipulator who had orchestrated everything. Sophia, can we talk? I said. Now. I'm talking about the Colosseum. Now. My tone must have been very serious because everyone went silent. Sophia followed me into the kitchen. What's wrong? She asked, but she didn't sound innocent anymore. I know what you did. Her face changed completely. The mask fell. What are you talking about? I know you were the one who convinced the grandparents. I know this was your plan. She crossed her arms, looking defiant. And what if it was? What do you mean, and what if it was? That trip was mine. Don't be selfish. I'm their granddaughter too. I deserve good things too. You don't do anything to deserve them. I've been breaking my back working. Oh please. You already have a job, an apartment, a girlfriend. What more do you want? I couldn't believe her cynicism. I want my family to treat me fairly. Life isn't fair, she told me, and turned to leave. I grabbed her arm. You know what? You're right. Life isn't fair. But I'm not going to let people take advantage of my goodwill anymore. What are you going to do? No. Cry to Mom and Dad. I'm going to do something I should have done years ago. I went back to the dining room. The whole family stared at me expectantly. Family, I said, I have something to tell you. My mom looked worried. What is it, son? I just found out the truth about the trip. I know Sophia manipulated the grandparents to take it away from me. The silence was total. Sophia glared at me furiously from the kitchen door. And you know what, I continued, it's fine. Sophia wanted the trip and she got it. Congratulations. Son, my dad started. No, Dad, let me finish. My whole life I've been the one who understands everything, who never complains, who puts up with everything to keep the peace. My grandma's eyes were wet. My boy, Grandma, it's okay. But I want you to know this taught me something very important. What's that? Asked my mom. That being the good son only serves so people can take advantage of you. I turned toward the door. From now on, things are going to change. I'm no longer going to be the one who always understands. I'm no longer going to put up with injustices to keep the peace. Sophia blocked my way. Don't be dramatic. I looked her in the eyes. Dramatic? Sophia, you just taught me something very valuable. You taught me that in this family, whoever cries the loudest gets the most attention. That's not true, protested my mom. Isn't it? Then explain why Sophia, who has never worked a day in her life, got to go on a trip to Europe, while I, who've been working myself to death for 5 years, stayed home. No one knew what to say. But don't worry, I said, I learned the lesson. I left the house, and Andrea was waiting for me in the car. She had been outside the whole time. How did it go? She asked. Terrible. But necessary. I told her everything on the way home. Andrea was furious too, but also proud that I had finally spoken up. My mom called me crying, my dad texted saying I had been too harsh. My grandparents came to my apartment to apologize. My boy, we didn't know how to handle the situation, my grandpa said. Your grandma panicked when Sophia threatened to leave home. Grandpa, I said, I understand you were worried. But you promised me something and then backed out without even consulting me. My grandma cried. Forgive us, dear. We thought you'd handle it better. You always think I'll handle it better. But no one asks how I feel. In the end, I forgave them, because I love them. But I made it clear things had to change. With my parents, it was harder. It took weeks for them to accept they had been unfair. My mom still defended Sophia, saying she was more vulnerable. Mom, I said one day, making Sophia vulnerable by keeping her dependent isn't helping her. It's turning her into a manipulator. Don't say that about your sister. Why can't I say the truth? Why do I always have to pretend everything is fine? It was a difficult conversation, but necessary. I didn't speak to Sophia for 2 months. Until one day she showed up at my apartment. Brother, we need to talk. Oh, now you want to talk. I know you're mad at me. I'm not mad, Sophia. I'm disappointed. She sat in my living room and for the first time in years, I saw her truly vulnerable. Not acting vulnerable, but genuinely affected. I know what I did was wrong, she said. You do? Yes. And I know why I did it. Enlighten me. Because all my life I've felt invisible next to you. I looked at her, surprised. Invisible? You're the spoiled one in the family. I'm spoiled because I'm a mess. You're admired because you're successful. I didn't know what to say. All my life I've heard, look at your brother, he's responsible, your brother knows what he wants, your brother this, your brother that. Instead of trying to be better, Sophia, I decided to be worse. Because at least that way I got attention. For the first time, I understood her perspective a little. But that didn't justify what she had done. I get that you felt that way, I said, but that didn't give you the right to take away something that was promised to me. You're right. And I'm sorry. Do you really mean it? Or are you just saying it because the family is pressuring you? She looked me in the eyes. I really mean it. And I want to make it up to you. How? I got a job. A real job, not selling things on Instagram. I was surprised. Really? Yes. At a marketing agency. And I want to pay for you to take a trip. Not to Europe, I don't have that much money, but somewhere you and Andrea want to go. It was a small gesture, but significant. I don't need you to pay for a trip, Sophia. Yes, you do. And I need to do this. I accepted. Not for the trip, but because I saw she was really trying to change. It's been 6 months since all this. Things in my family have improved, but they've changed forever. My parents now understand that being the good son doesn't mean I don't have feelings or needs. They try to be more fair in their decisions. My grandparents have shown me in 1,000 ways they regret what happened. Last month they gave Andrea and me a weekend at the beach. It wasn't Europe, but it was their way of saying, we're sorry. Sophia and I are better. Not perfect, but better. She's really working and trying to be more independent. And I'm learning not to be so condescending with her. But the most important thing is that I changed. I'm no longer the one who always says yes. I'm no longer the one who puts up with everything to keep the peace. I've learned to set boundaries, to say no, to stand up for myself when necessary. 3 weeks ago, my parents asked me to lend money to fix Sophia's car. Before, I would have done it without question. If Sophia needs to fix her car, she can use her salary. That's what she works for. My mom was a bit upset, but my dad agreed. And you know what? Sophia fixed her car herself. And she was proud of it. Sometimes I think about how that trip to Europe with Andrea would have been. Visiting the Louvre, walking the streets of Rome, watching the sunset in Barcelona. But I also think about everything I learned from this experience. I learned that being good doesn't mean being stupid. I learned that family that truly loves you understands when you set boundaries. I learned that sometimes you have to defend yourself, even from the people you love most. I learned that being the perfect son can be a prison if you don't know when to step out of the role. And I learned that I deserve respect, not for being the good son, but for being human. Do I feel good about everything that happened? Not completely.